Hello learners and welcome to week 25 of Reconstruction to Present. This week we're going to be completing assignments 8.9, 8.10, 8.11, and 8.12. So learning about music and entertainment, scientific breakthroughs, the arts, and then a quiz on some culture. Okay, so the big concepts of music and entertainment, scientific breakthroughs, and the arts. And I found this video. It's a look back at the 1960s, and it was done by CBS News. And it's interesting because a lot of those people were alive in the 60s, and they kind of talk about what they remember as well as them showing video clips from the footage. So here we go.
Well, this morning we continue our series, 5 Days, 5 Decades, with a look back at the 1960s.
Martha Reeves, right? Dancing in the street. It was an era of profound social change in America.
I was born 19 days before the 60s ended, so I don't remember much.
You just got in.
But here's what we do remember.
I have a dream.
The 60s is a crazy time. I was born on March 25th, 1960.
I'm black and beautiful.
The 60s had to be age of innocence lost.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Get out, Grace. 5 seconds.
President Richard M. Nixon.
So help me God.
I remember my mom coming to this country in 1961, and her family gave her just enough emergency money in case war was going to break out with Russia.
I have directed the continued and increased close surveillance of Cuba and its military buildup.
The Bay of Pigs forever changed U.S.-Cuba relations.
They started to build the Berlin Wall in 1961.
The leap for freedom, all in a split second.
Good morning, I'm Mike Wallace. This is a program of fact, of news, information, and observation.
Twist. Everybody knows how to do the twist.
Honestly, aren't the Beatles on their way out?
I don't think so. I think they're still strong.
Think about James Brown singing I Feel Good. You could live on that song all day. I was in Miss Smith's music class at Memorial Junior High School on Ridge Road in Lansing, Illinois. And she told us that the president had been shot.
President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
With the FDA approving the birth control pill, I mean, that was very liberating for women.
There has to be a limit to how many children a woman can have.
The United States has taken the precaution of moving substantial military reinforcements to Southeast Asia.
All right, give me some cover.
You look at him and say that couldn't happen to me.
The mama back there in Greenfield, Tennessee. Hello, mama.
You had the Civil Rights Movement.
Let us close the springs of racial poison.
We had the recording at home of the I Have a Dream speech. And every once in a while, my father would put it on.
Where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream.
Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
I remember the day that Martin Luther King was shot. I was at home. It was the second time I saw my mother cry.
Pray that what he was to us, what he wished for others, will someday come to pass for all the world.
We are the Second American Revolution. We are winning. Yippee!
There's a famous quote from the 60s. If you can remember anything about the 60s, then you weren't really there.
Woodstock, peace and love. We had a man on the moon. People just glued to their television sets, watching it all happen. Imagine watching it from space.
Airman from the planet Earth, first step foot upon the moon.
Well, remember being at my brother's house that night in 1969, summer 1969, and walking on the moon? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was just unbelievable.
I was in our basement watching. Exactly. I remember Walter Cronkite coming out and doing one of these
Whoa.
numbers. I'm so excited.
You know what's amazing to me? We're filled right now. You can't see it, but maybe we have a sky shot of, 30 people in a crew who have been in the news business, many of whom have been working for 20, 30, 40 years, surrounded by this stuff. There was silence when people were looking at this footage. It's just so compelling to look back at this stuff. And you wonder, what is it that's happening now, maybe yesterday, Barack Obama going into the White House, that is going to be the stuff of which history is made?
Okay, so the video was a little older, but it did a great job of sort of going through the 1960s and what people remember and what stuck out, what was important. So hopefully you learned a few things from that video. I know the sound might have not been there during certain parts, but I know that you got the gist of what was happening. Okay, so you're going to continue with your Google Classroom, doing your launch. Obviously, you watched the launch video. So you are going to answer the question for lesson 25. Make sure you submit that. And then as we just keep working our way through monumental changes. Okay, and I included this, or I am going to include this in the slideshow. Okay, I'm going to attach it below. And if you want to watch the music of the 1960s, feel free to do that. Okay, so any questions or concerns, please reach out to me. And if not, you have a wonderful week. Bye.